Morning, guys. It is Wednesday, the 14th of August. It's about 9 a.m. My name is Michael. I'm the host of this channel. Purpose of this channel is just to fellowship with other believers that are watching for the return of the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. Praise His holy name. To worship, to fellowship, to transmit ideas that I'm having, and forward ideas that other people have had. At any rate, I had already done this video one time, but I didn't really like the quality of it, so I deleted it, and I'm gonna do it again. Hopefully I'll do it better this time. The next video I wanted to do was, when I have the time, I would like to read Colossians, first chapter of Colossians. Paul always prayed for the church, the people that would read his letters, and his prayers are beautiful, so thoughtful, and just they're so well thought out. They go right for God's heart. You know what I mean? The rhetorical question: do you know what I mean? Hopefully, you know what I mean by that. His prayers really edified the people that would receive those prayers. So I wanted to pray that prayer for all the people that watch my videos, and I really don't have time to read it right now. I don't even have anything to read it on other than my phone, which I'm videotaping on right now. But I don't have time to do it right now anyway. But if you read that prayer, I read it and just pray it for myself from time to time. I don't do it all the time, but I wish I had it memorized, and then I do it every day. But at any rate, I pray that the Lord Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, would lift that prayer up to the Father on your behalf, and that you'll be just filled with all those blessings that He requests in there. But the reason why I felt compelled to pull over and really give this video my attention is because I don't want to miss anything important, that I don't want to leave anything out. So, started a couple days ago. My truck had, my assigned truck, this company's given me, had some issues. Not real major issue, but the one issue is a DOT issue. It's something so simple and stupid, but DOT requires it to be working. So I brought it in to our main shop and asked them to look at it and see if they could fix it. And I went and talked to my dispatch or whatever, and asked what they wanted to do. And I came back, and the guy's like, well, how much time do you have? I said, none. And he said, well, I'm going to need the truck for a while. So they ended up giving me another truck to use until my truck is up and running again. My assigned truck. It's not my truck, it's their truck, but it's assigned to me. So they put me in this truck. It runs pretty good, I guess, but it's got no air conditioning. So I'm driving down the road the other day, and it's 91 and 92 degrees, and the sun is beating directly on my pant leg. I got dark blue pants that I wear to work, what I consider my work pants, and literally just, I can feel my leg frying under my pants. I got the windows down, but it's just hotter than blazes in here, and I'm just sweating like crazy, and just, if it was any hotter, I think I was going to faint out or something. I mean, it was just really, really bad. So I'm driving like that all day long. When I got off and I finally got into my pickup truck and turned the AC on and everything, I just wasn't feeling right. By the time I got home, I felt like I had the flu. My body was aching, like you got the fever symptoms and everything, and just exhausted, like exhausted. So I went home and just passed out. When I got up the next day, I still wasn't feeling that great. This is yesterday. And I just said, well, I'm just going to try to muscle through it. And so I went to work, and they had me go and pick up this empty trailer from a place that's not that far away. Normally when they start doing that, they don't have any real pressing work that needs to be done. They're just trying to get me some miles so I can get a paycheck, which I very much appreciate. So I go down, I pick that up, I come back. By the time I get back, my dispatcher's rolling in, and I call and talk to them, and I said, look, I'm really not feeling well. If you guys don't have anything pressing, I'd like to go home. So they said, all right, cool, go home. So I go home. This is yesterday, the 13th. So I go home, and I had not had a chance to read the word, and I got the house all to myself. My son is at my sister's house, and my wife's at work. And I sat down, and I said, let me pray and do a little worship before I start reading. And I started praying and worshiping the Lord, and next thing you know, I was just out cold for like 5 hours. I just fell asleep sitting in the chair and slept solid for like 5 hours. So one of the things that I prayed before I fell asleep is that he would help me feel better, so that I can go and earn a living for my family. So I woke up and I felt a whole lot better, and my wife still wasn't home. My son was still at my sister's house, and so I had the house to myself. I said, good, I can read the word. So I started praying, and part of the prayer, I always pray before I read the Bible. At least I try to. Sometimes I just looking something up or whatever, and I dive right in. But when I'm just reading as my devotional, I try to pray for His blessing, and that He'll open it up to me and reveal things to me, and just feed me, and that He'll help me to apply it to my life and be transformed by the renewing of my mind, and become a better man, a better husband, a better father, a better son, sibling, friend, coworker, employee, uncle, cousin, nephew, stranger. Every role that I play, I want to do it more godly and do it better for His use and for His glory. That's what we're here for, is for God's glory. It's at any rate. So one of the things I prayed was, I was very discouraged. I was very hopeful that He would rapture us on the 10th or 11th, somewhere around there, maybe the 12th, whatever, because of Pastor Sandy's done a couple of teachings on what he was looking at with the possible rapture at the end of the wheat harvest and the beginning of the fruit, the early fruit season and all that. And best I could tell by my calculations, that would be right around the 11th, and it just seemed to fit to me, and I was very, very, very hopeful for that. And I think some other people had said some things that had made me looking at that, So I was very discouraged that it hadn't happened, and I'm going, how much longer do I have, because I've got some issues that I'm dealing with in life, and I really don't know how He wants me to deal with them, and I'm trying to wait on Him and figure out what He wants me to do, waiting for Him to open doors or whatever. And just sometimes I feel like, oh my lands, I can't go another day. I just can't go another day. And then I think, the moment that I open my eyes in heaven for the first time and see the face of the Lord Jesus Christ, if it's 100 years from now, it doesn't matter. It's still a drop in the bucket compared to eternity. And I try to imagine what kind of emotions I'll feel, what I'll experience at that point, what I'll see, what I'll smell, who I'll meet, and what heaven will look like, and what will I look like, what will I feel like, how, I don't even know how tall I'll be, it's all big question mark to me. Very exciting and thrilling and all that, but when I started seeing all the signs lining up, and I started following this years and years and years ago, and hunting and searching, I was getting very, very hopeful, and things were happening around the world and politically and whatnot. I was seeing weather patterns and everything, and I just thought, this can't go on too much longer. It's starting to heat up, and these are really biblical things that I'm seeing. And then the ground opened up and swallowed this guy out of his bed. I don't remember where that was, down in Florida, and his brother was trying to get to him and couldn't get to him, and I heard something about it on the radio, and it was just real quick, and I was like, what was that? Something like that. I mean, that was biblical. That sounded like what happened in Israel, in the wilderness when the Jews had run from Israel, or left Israel, with Moses, and those guys were contending against Moses, and the ground opened up and swallowed him and his family. I said, that sounded just like that to me. And they don't say another daggone thing about it all day. And I was listening to news really intently all day long. Nothing. And I'm like, daggone. And I got off work, and I thought, where can I find more information on this? And this is really a rabbit trail. This is not where I intended to go with this video, but I'm on it now, so I might as well finish it real quick. So I thought, I wonder if it's on YouTube. So I put in YouTube, ground opens up and swallows guy right out of his bedroom, whatever, something like that. And it brought it right up. I watched a bunch of different news videos on it. I was able to see the house. I was able to see the bedroom. I was able to see all kinds of stuff. And I was like, man, I wonder what else is on here. And I don't remember what I put in next, but I think it was end times. But one of the things that came up was Paul Begley. When I had put that thing in there, and he was like, what? You know how he does. Anybody that watches him, he is really all about the hype. And I found him to be a really valuable source of information. But through that, I started to learn about the family that is on YouTube, the real family, the family of watchers. And I so felt like I was part of them, but separate, because and that's kind of why I do these videos, because I wanted to feel more connected to you guys. I know that we don't agree on every daggone thing from every perspective. I've never met a person I agree with everything on, and I have changed my mind, so I don't agree with myself on the things that I agreed with myself 10 years ago, on some issues. So that being said, I still love you all, and whether we disagree or agree, but we agree on the main things, and the main thing is Jesus Christ is Lord of Lords, King of Kings, and He's coming back to get us soon. So I prayed this prayer before I read the Bible, and I asked God to tell me when He's flat out. I said, when are you coming back? Just so I can plan for it. I don't care if it's a day, a week, a month, a year, 10 years. I don't know how to even live my life. I'm supposed to occupy until you return, but I don't even really know how to do that at this point, because I don't know what we're looking at all, and so I was just kind of crying out to Him and just praying my heart, because I know He knows my mind anyway. He knows I want to know, and so I just asked Him flat out. And I don't know that I've ever really done that in that way, but at any rate, so then I read the Word. I believe it was 2 James. Yeah, James 2. I mean, not 2 James. James 2. James chapter 2. And I read that, and it was very edifying and fulfilling, and he spoke to me, and we had a good time together, and but I didn't hear anything about, rapture date possibility, anything that would, So when I was done reading, I was still alone. My wife wasn't home, and I said, well, I can watch a little YouTube. So usually I'm listening to YouTube going down the road in an 18-wheeler, but I got to actually watch it. So I flicked on the TV and brought on YouTube, and the first video that came up in my playlist, I pushed play on, whatever they call that playlist, whatever. The first video that came up, I pushed go, and it was Adar, and she started telling about this dream that she had a while back, and she never had any kind of clarification on what it meant or whatever, but apparently she's dreamed some dreams that were prophetic, and she believes this one was prophetic, though she never had closure on exactly what it meant, when it meant. At any rate, the dream that she dreamt was something about she was going on a trip in the mountains or something like that with her family, and a volcano went off and she could see the smoke, but she was protected, and then the rapture happened or something like that. You have to watch her video to get the exact thing. But at any rate, well, she had never had full clarification on it. Well, just recently she had planned a trip just the other day with some her friends and family, and she's going to Colorado up in the mountains, and she just all of a sudden felt like that could be it, and she was praying because an angel had told her in another dream that we're no longer like coming into the times. We're this is it. We're out of here. And so she's like, oh, okay, so I'm going on this trip, I guess Wednesday, which is today, and I'm coming back Sunday. So is that the window? And she's like, I don't know, but he could be saying that. So I just want to make a video and let you know. And I thought, wow, Lord, that's really encouraging. It's not exact. It's not thus saith the Lord, I'm coming back so-and-so day or whatever, but that's encouraging, to look forward to these next couple days. So by Sunday, I'll know whether she's telling the truth or not, that she's not telling the truth, whether she's on to something or not, whether she's hearing from you that this is actually it. So then today I was driving up to where I'm at now, and I was listening to some videos, and Gigi came on from Blue Heaven, and she started talking about something, and I was kind of half-heartedly listening to her, to be frankly. I wasn't paying real close attention. I was kind of praying and talking to myself, and praying and talking to myself, and she said something that kind of caught my attention. I was like, wait a minute. And so I rewound it and listened to the whole thing from the beginning, and she started talking about I lose it in the names, Tubiav or whatever, and she started talking about the Israelite, the Jews in Israel, in the wilderness, waiting to come into Israel, and the Promised Land, and they were building graves and sleeping in it until the full moon and all this stuff, and I forgot to mention something that's kind of important, but let me finish this thought and then I'll get to that. So, I don't know where she got the information about the Jews sleeping and digging their own graves and sleeping in it, thinking they were going to die before, the full moon or whatever. And once the full moon hit, they knew they were all right to go into the Promised Land or something. I don't know where she got that. However, it was like the 10th. The night of the 10th, I think, and it was like a half moon, just over a half moon, and I was looking up at it, and I was thinking, wow, Lord, I really thought the raptures, I really have always felt like it would happen on a full moon. And I remember, my feelings are often, they're notoriously unreliable, so I try to never, do anything according to just my feelings. However, I always felt like it should be a full moon. Even when they were talking about the Feast of Trumpets on the new moon and everything, and I was very hopeful about that on 2017, the Revelation 12 sign, 23rd of September 2017, when everybody was watching, I think. And that was on a new moon, and I was like, well, okay, if it's a new moon, it's a new moon. I just feel like it should have been on a full moon. So Gigi starts talking about this possible time, and I was like, well, that still fits with the wheat harvest and full moon, and well, that's really cool. And this Tu B'Av or whatever is on the 15th, which is, it's the 14th now, so that's tomorrow. So I'm like, wow, could this really be happening? So when I was done watching her video, I Googled, when is the next full moon? And it was the 15th. And I was like, wow. It said something about sturgeon moon or sturgeon moon or something. And so I Googled, what is sturgeon moon? And apparently they call it sturgeon moon because they catch a lot of those type of fish. It's the first moon of August, or first full moon of August is sturgeon moon, also known as the wheat moon, the red moon, or the blood moon, or red moon, and I forget the other ones. But I was like, wow, that's like really sounds like red moon. You know, I mean, you can Google it for yourself. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it just sounded like, wow, maybe, you know, maybe. And so I kind of started getting excited, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to jump on and just get this video out to you guys and see what anybody's thoughts are, if anybody even listens. I know the one lady always, so encouraging. I look forward to her comments all the time. Trying to remember her name that she goes by. I think it's God's Daughter 777. Thank you for your comments. I just look forward to, you're so encouraging and uplifting, and I can't wait to hear your comments. Every time I see them, I'm refreshed. But thank you so much for always being faithful to you know, just ponder whatever thoughts I put out, I guess. But I just love you. Can't wait to meet you up in heaven. But you guys, let me know if you think these ladies are onto something. I mean, it just seems like it seems like the season with Pastor Terry, right? I used to have Pastor Terry, Pastor Sandy. His message on the wheat harvest and the early fruit harvest and all of that, it all seems to line up. It all seems to line up. And now I'm just like trying to pinpoint the season. I'm looking at all these signs, and I'm like, we can't go on for another year. I mean, birth pangs don't heat up like this and then just keep going. I mean, how fast can we go before people stop marrying and giving in marriage, you know? Stop planning parties and stuff, you know? I mean, it's getting real, you know? Is too much stuff going on with earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes and volcanoes and stars falling. You guys heard about that Earth-sized asteroid that hit Jupiter, and that guy happened to be recording at the time. He just happened to record it. An Earth-sized asteroid. Tell me Jupiter doesn't protect us just like Jesus protects us. It swallows so many things that would devastate the earth if it got through. But at any rate, I'm not trying to go down more rabbit trails. I just want to put this video out to you guys to see what you think about it. I love you dearly. I gotta go. I'm gonna try to upload this puppy and go about my business. Look forward to hearing some comments, maybe. I don't even know what I should call this, so I'm gonna try to think of a name real quick just so I can put it up. I love you. Bye.